Hello, my name's Duncan, and welcome to Back Away from Donkey and Spaff Books. This is a bit of an update, and this is all the things that I've started that I've not finished, and challenges, and the updates on those, and what have you. Lots of bits like that. I've not really done many videos the past week, just migraines, life, and stuff, but I'm hoping to get back in a bit more production. The weather here is dreek and horrible. It's pissing down out there at the moment. We had thunderstorms this morning. Considering it's around the longest day and it stays light sort of to about 11:30, almost midnight, and then the sun just dips slightly down for about an hour below the thing where we live. So it doesn't really get dark. It never gets 100% dark this time of year, unless it's really, really cloudy. And yeah, it's really bad considering we're all around the longest day. But anyway, that's enough of that. So I'm just going to start. I've got my notebook here, my trusty notebook, and this is things that I started over the past couple of years and where I am on them and what I'm going to be doing on them. And I just thought you may be interested, you may not be interested. If you're not interested, pop along and see another video. But hopefully you are. So I'll start on the most recent one, which was my Make Me Love Arthur C. Clarke, which was my Make Me Love Arthur C. Clarke videos, because I want to learn to love the man and his works, because I feel I should do. So I'm doing quite well on that. I'm going to start another one of his books, which will probably be in the next couple of weeks. I've got some bits I'm catching up on. So that one's plodding along quite nicely. So that is just sort of doing what it should do. What I've done with these things, I've made some nice playlists for them on advice of Gavin. Gareth from Book Songs of Other Magic may have given me this advice, but Gavin was one I remember about playlists. So I've been trying to sort some of my playlists out and just make it more obvious if people are interested in those sort of things. Last year I started a week of overpopulation stories, and it's got away from itself, and I sort of left it to one side. But I am going to be doing some more bits over the next few weeks. I'm turning it into just like a series of stuff. I've basically been cataloguing all the overpopulation stories I could find. At the moment, I've got basically every short story written between about 1945 and about 1950 I've got copies of, and a bit further. And it's all quite interesting developing those. And most of these are easily available, and actually a lot of them in the public domain, so I'll be able to give people links to them. And I'm going to do a couple of videos on those over the next 6 to 8 weeks, is my plan, to introduce those down so that but the overpopulation thing could be going on for years at this rate, because there's so much stuff on it, and it all came to sort of fruition post-war, so it's quite an interesting subject. You might be able to hear the rain out there, because good God, it's heavy. This morning it freaked out my dog. My dog wouldn't go out to the toilet. My little Sharpei, she's a big scaredy pay, as we call her. She's scared of her own shadow, and she wanted to go to the toilet, and I opened the front door, and she looked out and was like, nah, not going out in that, not going out in that. Then we had some fun, and she ran back in. One of my other things I was doing was my introduction to classic science fiction, which was basically me sharing books that I read before the age of 18 that introduced me to science fiction that I've reread and still think are good and worth reading, and just going to them. I think I've done 4 or 5 of those, and I haven't done one since last year. I'm hoping to do a couple more over the next wee while. So that one's just sort of going along. Reading The Wheel of Time was one other thing I was doing. That's a bit on hold because, yes, I finished the first book, but I didn't actually update the video, which I must do at some point. And I said I want to work through and just sort of describe my feelings as I'm reading through it, because it's sort of one of these classic fantasies that I'd never read. I actually avoided it in the 90s when I saw it, kept seeing it around. But I cannot see myself getting onto the second book this year. Really cannot see myself doing that, so that'll probably just stay as a back burner one. Next one, Philip K. Dick on film. I've been threatening to do for 2 years. Don't know. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that. It will be done eventually. It's basically me comparing the text of the books and comparison between the books and the films. I think there's 10, 11 films to his stories, from what I remember. But at the moment I've got too much on, so that is really, it is on a back burner at the moment. Next year, if we're lucky. So, other things I will be doing. I said I've been doing Dune on the Range, so I've got some videos coming out on that in the next few days. I've gone off-piste a little bit, but I'm still sort of in the general area on some of those. Book Trek's going on for 3 months, I will be doing that. And I also been reading Grapes of Wrath, because there's a Steinbeck thing. Everybody loves Steinbeck or what have you, and I'm 200 pages into that, and all I can say is I could be lynched by Steinbeck fans. There is a good chance I could be lynched. So for that, so I'm part way into that. I probably will not officially take part in any other reading events. There's a Summer of Sport, and I'm going to do a specific videos about that, but not really part of that. And there's a couple of bits on cycling I'm going to read because I wanted to read them. The problem I have sometimes with taking part in events, and too many events, is it sort of pulls you away from the stuff that you'd planned. So I like to keep in with them, but not keep in with them at the moment. So that is probably it. Like Garb August, I probably will not officially take part in unless or Rocket Summer. But then I read a lot of that sort of stuff anyway, so maybe I could link up. I don't know, but you know what I mean. And I've got some stuff I've got set up for next year. I want to do some stuff on some magazines that I keep threatening to do, because I've got loads of Omni magazines with stories and bits in there. And the other thing I'm really trying hard to do at the moment is I've discovered I'm quite interested in, when Dungeons and Dragons first appeared on the scene in the late 70s, early 80s, I was a big player of it. Not played it since 1990. Love to play again, but haven't got time, don't know anybody, so can't do it anymore. But what interests me is a lot of the fiction and stuff around it. And I've seen a copy of an anthology of sort of Dungeons and Dragons fiction called Dragon Tales, and the only copies of it I can find are about £40 plus £40 postage. So no, I'm not buying those, but I'm trying to track down the stories that are in it, because I'm quite intrigued in it, whether some of them sound like they're directly from games. But I've also got some other role-playing magazines that have Dungeons and Dragons sort of stories in them, and so I'm just trying to sort of piece that together. I've got, excuse me a second, somebody wants to come up. Hello, Ruby Rubes. You see Ruby Rubes' new cut? Hey, you gonna say hello? You turn around, or you just want to stare at me? Hey, Ruby. But yeah, and I'm planning for some stuff I want to do next year. And this is just like a brief introduction. One thing I'm definitely going to do, which I'm planning to, is all around Wolf. Gene Wolfe, that is. But it's probably not what you think it is. So, planning hopefully to do some stuff in the last 3 months of this year. But the whole of the stuff I will be doing will be going over next year. And I'm hoping some people might join me on it. So to clue you in, it's all to do with the Book of the Long Sun. Not the Book of the New Sun, the Book of the Long Sun. Book of the New Sun, I think Gene Wolfe's a genius anyway, but it's a stunning piece of work. But everybody always talks about that. Nobody talks about the Book of the Long Sun or the Book of the Short Sun. So next year I'm going to be doing some stuff on the Book of the Long Sun, plus some movies and other bits. So if anybody is considering maybe reading it next year, maybe you want to read along with me. But you might want to read the Book of the New Sun first if you've never read it, because as much as they're not connected, people say it is advisable to know them. See, I've never read the Book of the Long Sun because I read the Book of the New Sun. Shadow Torture came out in 1981, and I bought it immediately and read it. And I read the books all on release of the Book of the New Sun. And I read a load of other Gene Wolfe. And then towards the back of the 90s, which was when the Book of the Long Sun was, I was very busy with lots of stuff. I went back to university and studied, and so I didn't end up reading the Book of the Long Sun, and I've never got around to reading it. So I'm planning on reading it next year and doing some videos on it. And if people want to join me, that would be good, because everybody always quotes the Book of the New Sun, and the Book of the New Sun, as I said, is a fantastic piece of work. But hey, let's look at some of his other work. So yeah, that's one of my main things, and that's the bits I'm going on. And I said next week or so I'm going to catch up on a few bits. I said I've got some Dune on the Range stuff coming out, some Star Trek stuff over the next few days, and I've got a video that I still I need to. Have I finished editing it? Yes, I have finished it. One about the Vordelak, which is left over from Horror Mayhem. What I'm going to do. So, what do you think? Chest rub? See? Do you want a chest rub? Anyway. So, at the moment, it's bye from me and it's bye from Little Ruby. Little Miss Roundhouse. Are you choosing love today over violence? Choosing love over violence. Anyway, I'll speak to you all soon, and I'm sure you'll see Ruby, who seems to be being very popular in the videos at the moment, don't you? Anyway, speak to you soon, and bye for now.